Welcome to Fearopoly Street, the podcast where elder millennials have a fun and socially aware discussion about the 90s cult classic horror series, Fear Street. If you never read the book or it's been a while, we provide a detailed chapter breakdown and include modern-day reflections on the story and its themes. I'm your host, Michelle Hanson, and this week I'm joined by Olivia James.
Hello, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Not too bad.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
I consider myself a writer primarily. I write It's All Been Done Radio Hour. Not all of it anymore, but the majority of it. And just dabble in local theater and books. I love reading. I'm a big reader. Read Fear Street back in the day, like occasionally, not regularly, but enjoyed it. So
today we are talking about the very first Fear Street book, The New Girl, which came out in June 1989. I was 9 years old. How old were you?
I would have been 6.
6 years old?
6 years old, because my birthday, was in March.
And would 6-year-old you have read a book like this?
Absolutely not.
So if you would read us the synopsis on the back of the book.
This says, "Welcome to Fear Street. Don't listen to the stories they tell about Fear Street. Wouldn't you rather explore it yourself and see its dark terrors and unexplained mysteries are true? You're not afraid, are you? Dying for a kiss. She's pale as a ghost, blonde and eerily beautiful, and she seems to need him as much as he wants her. Corey Brooks hungers for Anna Corwin's kisses, drowns in her light blue eyes. He can't get her out of her mind, and the trouble has only begun. Shadyside High's star gymnast is losing sleep, skipping practice, and acting weird. All the guys have noticed, but only Corey's friend Lisa knows the truth. Anna Corwin is dead and living on Fear Street. Now Corey must explore its menacing darkness to discover the truth. He's already been warned, come to Fear Street and you're dead."
The book starts with a prologue, and it's written in first person. The narrator has pushed Anna to her death. We don't know who the narrator is. We can assume that it's a sibling because the person screams, "Mom, she's dead." And then the narrator has to force these fake tears. And that's the end of the prologue.
I will be honest, I started reading the book and completely forgot what the prologue was. Without the context, it's hard for me to internalize it.
Yeah.
And so by the time Anna showed up in the book, I had forgotten that the scene
Completely.
I did not realize that, I was not looking for who had pushed her.
And maybe that was intended because, again, this is young adult.
I'm sure they wanted you to. I do think it's a really good hook. And RL, of course, is a professional. It was already successful before these books came out. So I'm sure they told him, or he already knew, you have to start with a hook.
So we jump into chapter 1, and it goes directly into third person. We have Corey Brooks is the protagonist, and we're in the cafeteria at Shadyside High School, and he's doing a headstand because he and his best friend David Metcalf are on the Shadyside gymnastics team in high school.
Yep.
There's a gymnastics team.
There is. That is not just girls. It's boys too.
Yeah, there is. Well, actually, they never mentioned any female on the...
And this is a small town. I can't remember the exact population they give, but it's supposed to be a pretty, I want to say 15,000-ish.
Okay.
I can't remember. In one of the two books, I swear they gave a population, but that's a pretty small town. The gymnastics, it seems like you'd need a bigger high school for that. And especially in this era when this book came out, I'm from a small town. We were only 4,000, but boys would not have been accepted at full on the gymnastics team in this era.
Well, Fear Street takes place in Ohio. Shadyside is in Ohio. R.L. Stine is from Columbus, Ohio, which is where we are now. And it's funny, I'm from Akron, Ohio, and in this book, a little suburb of Shadyside is North Hills.
Mm-hmm.
And I grew up in a suburb of Akron called North Hill.
Oh, cool.
So reading this, just the detail of the woods and everything, I picture my little North Hill, Akron, town. So it's a nice little treat for me to read this. So Corey is in the cafeteria. He's doing his headstand, holding a tray of spaghetti in one hand, and he looks over and he sees the new girl. He loses his balance. He gets spaghetti all in his hair and on his clothes. After that happens, he cleans himself up, and then he asks David if he saw the new girl, and he describes her as so pale, so blonde, so beautiful, hauntingly beautiful.
So I know this came first, but immediately my mind goes to the first scene in Twilight when Bella sees Edward across the cafeteria.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know Twilight basically rips off a lot of stuff, but it felt like she was ripping off this first Fear Street chapter right there.
We learned that Corey has been on the varsity gymnastics team since he was a freshman at Shadyside. So apparently there's a JV level and a varsity level for this gymnastics team.
Wow.
We meet all of Corey's friends and teammates, mostly David and Artie. They're jokesters. They don't really seem to have serious conversations. It's just all, pull my finger type jokes.
Yeah.
However, Corey does have a best friend / neighbor, and her name is Lisa Bloom. They have been neighbors and friends since they were kids, and Corey describes her as looking like Cher, which is not how I picture her.
No, I don't know why, but I immediately thought like mousy brunette. I don't know. I do think it's the last name Bloom just is meant to evoke a certain,
I think so too.
Just very,
yeah. So she lives in North Hills next to Corey, which is the nicest part of Shadyside. Their lockers are right next to each other, and Corey's cleaning himself up. His shirt has spaghetti all on it, and Lisa offers Corey a Gap t-shirt. And Corey's like, I don't want to wear a girl's shirt. And she's like, it's not for boys, it's not for girls, it's Gap. And like, okay, product placement.
I wonder how much Gap had to pay to get in this
right.
work.
And so as Corey is changing into his unisex Gap t-shirt, he sees the new girl in the hallway, but she vanishes. And that takes us to chapter 2. So in chapter 2, we learned that Corey has had a bad practice, and he thinks it's because of the new girl. The practice is so bad that David has even sprained his ankle. So he's out for the gymnastics season. Corey thinks that his bad performance is due to the new girl because he hasn't seen her in 3 days. So Corey gets a glimpse of this girl and then hasn't seen her in 3 days. So he's letting a 2-second glimpse affect 3 days of his life.
Yeah.
And then his performance at gymnastics.
Yeah.
Get your head in the game, Corey.
I mean, look, I understand, and from my current perspective in my 40s, it does seem ridiculous, but I put myself back into teenage me.
Okay.
And if I glimpsed a beautiful girl that got my attention as much as this one got Corey's,
okay,
I could absolutely, I empathize.
Corey has a dream about the new girl where she is kissing him all over his face. And when he reaches out to her, his hands go through her like she's a ghost. So he's already on board with the ghost thing.
Yes.
Because she's so pale.
Right. See, I still didn't take that as confirmation that she was dead. It was more just pale and you only got the glimpse and she slips away. It's ethereal, right?
Yeah. He spent the last 3 days looking for the new girl in the hallways, in the cafeteria. He waited by the front door of the school. And then on the 3rd day, he and Lisa walk home together after school, and they cut through Shadyside Park, which is located on Park Drive. It's November, it's cold, and we learned that Lisa is the editor of the Shadyside Spectator, which is Shadyside's newspaper. Lisa asks Corey if he's doing anything on Saturday night, and Corey asks if Lisa knows who the new girl is. So completely dismisses.
Yeah.
So Lisa tells him that the new girl's name is Anna Corwin, and they have 3rd period physics together. Lisa adds that Anna is quiet and misses school a lot, and she transferred from Melrose High School and lives on Fear Street. Fear Street is by the town cemetery and is believed to be cursed. And this is where we get into the lore of Fear Street.
This is also where the small town thing doesn't quite work for me, that all these people keep disappearing and dying in the woods. It's like Murder, She Wrote, where it's a small town where there's a murder all the time, but people just keep living there.
Right.
People in Shadyside grew up hearing the stories about Fear Street, about people who wandered into the woods there and disappeared forever, about strange creatures that supposedly roam the Fear Street woods, about mysterious fires that couldn't be put out, and bizarre accidents that couldn't be explained, about vengeful spirits that haunted the old houses and prowled through the trees, about unresolved murders and unexplained mysteries.
So that is the lore of Fear Street that is on page 19 of The New Girl.
I kind of wish they'd done a little more show, not tell, but I guess with a series like that, you're trying to immediately establish the setting, and they kind of have to handhold children a little bit more than they would an adult.
So when Corey gets home, he calls 411, which is information,
Mm-hmm.
to get Anna's phone number. And you could do that back day. It was like a phone book, but on the phone.
But there was usually a charge, wasn't there? My parents would have been upset if I used 411. You should have used the phone book, the white pages.
Yeah, it's like a quarter. So he calls 411 to get Anna's phone number, and then he asks the operator for her address. And the operator tells him, well, I'm really not allowed to give out addresses, but it's my last day, so here you go.
Mother of all coincidences, right? Mm-hmm. Just happened to hit somebody who was not only their last day, but clearly did not give a crap about their job.
Yeah. So Corey finds out that Anna lives at 444 Fear Street, Shadyside, Ohio. We don't know the zip code. So Corey calls Anna, and when he asks for her, some guy tells Corey that no one named Anna lives there.
So chapter 3, Corey sees Anna at school the next day and notices she's really pale.
So pale.
So pale. Like
it looks like
ghostly pale. Yeah, it's crazy. If he was a lesser writer, it probably would have said that. He tells her that he called her, and she's just like, no, and runs away.
No, you didn't.
Yeah. And then later, it does say she is wearing a white sweater. I see that over a gray skirt. So, and with a white ribbon in her hair. So even more of the visual. Later gymnastics practice, she's watching from the bleachers because, ghosts get bored. Then she vanishes. And Corey believes it's a good idea to call her again, despite what happened the last time. I don't think I'd call again. I think at that age, I would be too nervous to get yelled at again.
Yeah, that's true, because you are, you're 16, you are at the age where you still respect your elders and another person's parent. So, yeah, I would be...
Not all kids would, but he seems like a good kid.
Yeah, that's true. I would be very uneasy calling Anna again. So now we're into chapter 4. It's Saturday night, and Corey is in his room thinking about Anna.
Of course.
He thinks she seemed pleased talking to him at her locker the other day. Sure she did. He decides he's going to ask her to the basketball game that's taking place next Saturday when he sees her at school on Monday. Corey heads downstairs, and he sees that Lisa's parents are over and they're playing Scrabble with his parents. So not only are he and Lisa good friends, but their parents seem to be friends as well.
And they're all nerds, so highly relatable.
Her parents tell Corey that Lisa is depressed because she doesn't have a date for the night.
Mm-hmm.
And Corey decides to go over to Lisa's house because he needs someone to talk to about Anna. He sees Anna everywhere. He's walking over to Lisa's house, and he looks up at the moon, and he mentions something about how, doesn't the glow of the moon look like Anna's eyes, or something ridiculous like that.
This is another part where I really got frustrated with him, because it's one thing if you've got a friend who's expressed that she's not interested in you, then absolutely. This girl, Lisa, is like clearly so into him and dropping him every hint she can imagine.
Right.
And I know that you don't always get the hint, but also you're just going to be so dismissive. You're not even considering it.
Yeah. Corey gets to Lisa's house, and she offers to watch a Star Trek movie together. Olivia, take it away.
I mean, what could be hotter? I would have loved to have watched a Star Trek movie with a girl in my teenage years. I still have not watched a Star Trek movie with a girl, I think, now.
Really?
I mean, I probably will watch one with my daughter soon, because we've been watching some old episodes.
Yeah.
But no.
Did they mention what Star Trek movie it was?
They did not. And I really wanted to know which one, because there's a big difference in the signal she said, depending on which movie that it is. You laugh, but I'm not kidding. At this point, there would have been, I believe, 5 movies, 1989. So each one of those, I think, sends a very different signal.
Well, Lisa has a bowl of chips, and they reach into the bowl of chips at the same time, and they touch their hands. Another trope, usually in the movies, but okay, so they touch hands, and they, jerk their hands out of the chip bowl. Lisa asks how things are going, and is hardcore flirting with Corey, playing with his hair, moving closer to him.
And he says, "Shut up, I'm watching Star Trek. I need to hear what they're saying."
And not only do I only care about Star Trek, I care about Anna. Let's talk about her.
But he shouldn't be talking about Anna. Star Trek is on the television. I don't understand.
So that's where you draw the line of, okay.
No, so if I'm in the room with Lisa and she's coming on to me, I would be focused on Lisa. I would ignore the Star Trek. But in terms of like talking about something else that's unrelated to what's happening right then? No.
So Corey starts talking about Anna, and Lisa tells him to go home.
Nope.
Just go home.
As she should, honestly.
Yeah,
I was fully on her side.
Yeah. Corey goes home, and what does he do? He calls Anna.
Right, because that's
what you do.
Jesus.
A woman answers and says Anna isn't there, but Corey can hear someone in the background saying, "Let me talk, let me talk."
In Chapter 5, Corey blames Anna living on Fear Street as a reason for all the weirdness going on, which is a reasonable assumption to make, I think.
I assume so, yeah.
He contemplates going over to Anna's house, but she does live on Fear Street, and a family of 3 was found dead in the Fear Street woods. But that's just typical Fear Street. Corey calls David and asks if he wants to drive to Fear Street with him.
Mm-hmm.
At first, David seems like the voice of reason, but quickly goes along with it. Teenage boy, of course. When Corey gets to David's house, David tells Corey his mom won't let him go because it's 10 p.m. on a Saturday and they have no business being out. My parents would have done the same.
Mm-hmm.
Also, David is getting a cold. That would not have kept me home.
No.
But the 10 p.m., my parents would not have allowed me to go out. Corey decides to just drive by. I don't get that either. Like, if
those innocent drive-bys.
Yes, like if you're going to go the trouble of going there, you should get out of the car. Otherwise, you just wasted your trip over, in my opinion. He finds Anna's house. He has the address because the operator gave it to him, of course. He finds Anna's house and it's in bad shape. The mailbox is on the ground porch. It looks abandoned. I was thinking like Addams Family-esque. I don't know if that's accurate. Yeah. Probably a less elaborate house, though. Mm-hmm. Corey walks back to his car and he hears footsteps behind him. And then someone grabs Corey's shoulder. Surprised it took to the end of Chapter 5 to get like one of those jump scare cliffhanger endings.
Right.
Because that was an R.L. Stine signature, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, always leaving it on cliffhanger ending.
Yes. Yeah. And almost always totally like lame reason for the startling. Not that the author's lame, but just like, oh, I'm so scared. Oh, it's a dog. Stuff like that.
It's something. So that leads us to Chapter 6. We're at our first cliffhanger ending. The only other kind of like scary moment we had was in the prologue. Yeah. Right. So for Chapter 6, the person who grabbed Corey's shoulder is just some random do-gooder neighbor who's walking his dog, and he thinks that Corey is lost. So instead of saying like, "Hey buddy, are you lost?" this man thought that it was okay to grab a teenage boy and just to be like, "What are you doing here?"
That seemed strange to me as well. Like if I were the man, I'd be too afraid to approach the boy because you don't know him. Not afraid like, oh, he's going to hurt me, but you don't know.
Yeah.
Like you'd call out for a little bit until you get the measure of who this kid is and what he wants.
Very true. So he warns Corey not to go to Anna's house because her family is strange. So it seems like he has met Anna, or at least her family.
Sure.
Corey decides to knock on the door anyway, and a man in his early 20s answers the door. He's described as having a smoker's cough.
I immediately distrusted a man in his early 20s answering the door at an abandoned house before there was any other description.
Corey tells the man that he goes to school with Anna at Shadyside, and the man tells Corey he had never heard of Shadyside and that Anna is dead.
Yeah, the Shadyside with Shadyside is really suspicious because even though he would know what Shadyside is, even if you were just moving to town, you would have driven past the high school at some point, probably.
At some point.
Yeah, or heard something.
So I think this man is jerking Corey's chain.
I think he just doesn't want to talk to him.
Because it's 10 o'clock at night.
I mean, at this point, it's got to be at least 10:30.
10:30, 11 o'clock.
I'd already be in bed. Yeah. So, in high school, I probably went into bed.
That one commercial that was real popular in the 80s and 90s. It's 11 o'clock. Do you know where your children are?
Yeah, on Fear Street getting murdered.
So in Chapter 7, Corey drives home in a daze. Then we jump immediately to Monday at school, and Corey is waiting by Anna's locker. He tries to open her locker, but the lock is stuck. I'm going to need a moment on this one. He is trying to break into her locker.
Yeah.
For what reason?
To prove that she's not dead or is dead? Confirm the suspicion.
Right. Like, could you imagine if his dream girl, Anna, walks up while he's trying to, like, break into her locker, or he's rifling through her locker, and she's just like, "What you doing, champ?"
My assumption would have been, this guy's awful, just trying to, like, scare me away or whatever. Maybe it's an overprotective older brother. I'm certainly not breaking into her locker. I'm going to wait and talk to her.
Yeah. So Corey hasn't slept in 2 days because he keeps thinking that Anna is dead. Anna is a ghost because she's so pale. Corey sees Lisa in the hallway, and he immediately asks her about Anna. Lisa gets mad but tells Corey that she hasn't seen Anna all day. And then Corey tells Lisa what happened with going to Fear Street and the neighbor and the man who says that Lisa's dead.
Mm-hmm.
Lisa thinks that Corey just had the wrong house and asks why he's so obsessed with Anna. Yeah, Lisa, good question. And there are other girls, obviously talking about herself.
Sure.
But Corey is so obsessed with Anna, it just completely flies over his head. Lisa storms off, but then she asks Corey if he wants to walk home together. But Corey can't because he has to work in the school office because that's his little part-time job that he does.
That they haven't mentioned before this. And as soon as the scene's over, they don't mention it again because it's only relevant for this one.
Exactly. I think he only works there like one day a month, something like that.
Monday's the day. So once
Monday.
a week.
Okay, once a week.
But I feel like they should have mentioned it in chapter 1 or 2.
Yeah, because wasn't that a Monday? I feel like it had other Mondays.
I don't know if it was a Monday or not, but I hate when something like that just very convenient comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And that's what it felt like.
It does serve a purpose because he realizes that he has access to all the student records.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks up Anna's name in the filing cabinet. However, there's no record for her.
Right. It's now Saturday night, and the Shadyside Cougars are playing Westerville. We're in Westerville right now.
Yeah.
At the Westerville Public Library. Thank you for letting us use your podcasting equipment, Westerville Public Library. Please support them. Westerville's center is 7 feet tall. I know there are kids that are 7 feet tall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a tall kid.
That's a future NBA player. Maybe they're not that coordinated. I don't know. We learned that Corey has been missing gymnastics practice, and Anna is all Corey talks about. It's that obsession. That obsession really bothers.
It is, yeah.
It's not very realistic, and if somebody's that obsessed, they probably should get some mental help. That will negate part of the end of the story, but we'll talk about that later.
I am curious to know if Anna is the first girl he's been obsessed with.
Right?
It feels like yes.
The first one that hasn't taken a restraining order out on him yet.
That's true.
No, yeah, because if he makes the 16, he's definitely had other crushes before. But what about her makes him so obsessed?
Yeah.
I mean, he's just really into pale ghostly girls.
Apparently.
So Corey tells David that he couldn't find Anna's file, and David tells him that since Anna is a transfer student, it might take a while to get her file. I don't buy that because it's all paper files, and they'd have to have some records before she starts. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, first day, first episode, the principal's got her file and is reviewing it with her, right?
Yeah, and they would need to know, Anna was up to date on her vaccinations and stuff. There's information in there that they need to have.
Well, in high school classes, you'd need to know what placement they'd be in, right? So you need some information. So you have no record at all. I would think, it must be on the principal's desk, or they had to take it home to review it or something. Not that she just doesn't exist. That doesn't make sense to me. Corey looks for Anna at the game, but she isn't there. And after, of course, who would? It's a basketball game. I would hope most people won't be there.
Yeah.
I would not be. After the game, Corey drove around aimlessly. He gets home at 1:30 a.m. Again, my parents would not have put up with that.
Right. He is 16 years old.
Right. No supervision. Come on. And the phone rings. Again, parents very upset if the phone's ringing at 1:30 at night. And it would definitely wake them up. And if they didn't answer it, they'd be coming down demanding to know who it was.
Did you have your own private line when you were in high school?
We had one line for the whole house. And we did have dial-up internet. So we had to budget when I could be on versus when we had to leave it open for the house.
Yeah, I didn't have my own phone line until I was 19 and the internet was booming. And so my phone line was so I could go on the internet, and then my parents' phone line, it was, so we could get calls.
Yeah, I'm sure my parents had a phone next to the bed at that point in case somebody called in the middle of the night, right? Now we just have our cell phones, but yeah. So the voice on the other end of the phone says, "Stay away from Anna. She's dead, and you'll be next." And since Anna's not at the game, do you think she just got killed? Is this recent?
Oh, quite possibly.
I mean,
yeah.
If he doesn't believe, because even though he says earlier that she might be a ghost, then he says, but ghosts aren't real, right there in the book. So I don't know. It's a little.
So we have our cliffhanger ending leading us into chapter 9. And Corey is reeling over the phone call / the threat that he just got. He thinks it might be Anna's neighbor who has the dog. Mm-hmm. Which, okay, he did, scared him a little. But how would he know? Corey's number, it's all too weird.
Corey give him his name at any point? I don't
know. I mean, unless the neighbor wrote down Corey's license plate and called 411 or the police station and they looked it up. But I assume the car that Corey's driving is his parents'.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
I don't either.
Immediately after that phone call at 1:30, he gets another phone call, and it's from Anna, and she's asking for help. She wants him to meet her at the corner of Fear Street, and it's 1:37 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
On his drive to Anna's house, he remembers that there was a collision on Fear Street last spring, and he starts thinking about how it was a 2-car accident. There were 6 people involved, I think 3 people per car, and then those people vanished. Again, that's like typical Fear Street.
Typical Fear.
Yeah.
Would you have gone and answered the call at 1:30 in the morning from a crush that said they needed help in high school?
In high school, no. As an adult, my hero complex definitely would have taken over, and yes.
As an adult, it doesn't need to be a crush. If somebody needs help and calls me, I'm going to go. Absolutely. As a kid, I would have wanted to. My parents would have let me, so I would have snuck out probably. And
you would have?
I think so.
Okay. Corey gets to the family car. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he has to take his parents' car to go to Anna's house. He puts it in neutral and he backs out of the driveway because obviously if he starts the car in the driveway, that'll wake up his parents. Mm-hmm. While he's driving on Fear Street, he runs over a small animal. Sure. And that's supposed to be like the jump scare of the chapter. Mm-hmm. He gets to Anna's house and all the lights are turned off in the house. And so he sits in his car and he like turns it off. And then he's like, no, maybe I should turn it on in case we need to get out of here real fast. So he turns it back on. And it's like, no, maybe I should have it turned off because I don't want it to wake up anyone in her house. So he turns it off. Mm-hmm. And then he turns it back on and it's like off, on, off, on. Then the passenger door opens and Corey screams.
Yeah, that's the end of the chapter. Why are the doors unlocked? If I'm sitting on Fear Street in the middle of the night, even if I'm looking to help somebody, I got the doors locked until I either decide to get out or till I see them coming.
I'm curious if they were manual locks or power locks. It being 1989, I don't know if power locks were standard yet.
I don't think so. Yeah. But I definitely, before I left, would have locked all the doors ahead of time. Because that's me. I'm paranoid. So we get to chapter 10, coming off of the jump scare. And of course, it was Anna getting in the car because RL's not going to be super scared. She's being all mysterious. You're the only one who can help me, Corby Kenobi. But she won't say how or why. He tries to tell her that he came to her house the other night, but her family told him she was dead. But she kisses him before he can finish telling her. She's a little forward. I mean, now it's starting to read like an adolescent male's fantasy, right?
Yeah.
He thinks she whispers, "You're all mine now," and asks her what she wanted. She tells him she just wanted to see if he would come and if he cared about her. That's some crazy behavior.
That is some crazy. So I'm picking up on crazy vibes from both Corey and Anna. So maybe this is a match made in heaven.
16-year-old me, if she'd said you're all mine now and I want to see if you come, I would probably be all into it.
Right.
Not 42-year-old me, but 16-year-old. Yeah, for sure. I would have fallen hook, line, and sinker. I would have got pushed down the stairs and killed for sure. For sure. Anna tells him that her brother Brad is crazy and dangerous and he'll say anything. So, family of crazy people.
Family of crazy. And now we finally have a name of the man, Brad, who has the smoker's cough.
Absolutely. Corey tells her Brad told him that she's dead, and she gets out of the car. He follows her to the house, but Anna disappears. And then he feels someone or something jump on his back. Another jump scare.
Another jump scare.
Cliffhanger right there. This is the one that it does not, the chapter starts, it does not pick up right from the cliffhanger. Right. And that was, surprised me a little bit. I was like, oh, this is I appreciated it. I was glad RL didn't do the thing he usually does, which is, lead right out of it.
Yeah, so that chapter starts with Corey at home, but I'm going to skip right to who it was that jumped on his back.
Okay.
It was the dog who lives on Fear Street, a Doberman.
Yeah.
So the Doberman jumps on Corey's back. The neighbor has to pull the dog off of Corey, and the neighbor was annoyed because Corey had come back. That doesn't really give your dog a right to, jump.
Not at all.
So then Corey's at home, and his mom has to wake him up. He was dead asleep, and his shoulder hurts from the dog. Corey has a gymnastics meet in 2 hours, so that's why his mom woke him up. With Anna on his mind, he goes to the meet and he sees Lisa there, and tells her that he sprained his shoulder because she's like, oh, is your shoulder okay? Because he's like wincing or, just acting all weird.
This is the part of the book where it should have taken a supernatural turn if the dog was a werewolf. And the next morning he wakes up and he's feeling like out of sorts. His shoulder hurts, but he goes to gymnastics. All of a sudden he grows hair and starts doing flips.
I like that whole teen wolf meets a ghost thing of a werewolf and a ghost. I like that. Corey has a terrible meet. He's messing up on his gymnastics routine all over the place. And then Lisa tells him that she was at her cousin's house who had a friend over who went to Melrose High School. And she said she knew Anna, but Anna was dead.
I never suspected Lisa of collaborating with Brad. I was just like, oh no, she's definitely dead now because we're hearing from multiple sources and Lisa seems like a reliable source.
Right. I do like that if that was a twist that Lisa was involved with Brad, coming up with this elaborate lie for whatever reason.
If she had gone over to meet Anna to tell her to stay away from her man and run into Brad, and then they came up with the plan together.
Yeah.
Ooh, then Lisa would be crazy. Then everybody in the story is insane.
Be crazy. I feel like that plot could be a good romantic comedy in the 90s, though.
Yes, absolutely. A lot of creepy things that don't hold up. So Corey gets upset, and Lisa tells him it's all true. Anna fell down the steps and died instantly. Prologue that I'd forgotten happened. So did not make the connection. No, not at all. Lisa asks Corey to skip the rest of the meet and go with her to Shayside Library to do some investigating. I would have absolutely done that for sure. Blow off the meet for a girl? Absolutely. At the library, Lisa searches through Melrose newspapers and sees an article about Melrose sophomore Anna Corwin, who died in an accident. So are they juniors then in this story? I think most of the characters in Fear Street usually
are like sophomore.
16, 17. Junior year, you turn 17 usually in the middle of junior year. Unless you have a summer birthday.
I have a summer birthday. Right. I was 16 throughout my junior year.
Yeah, I turned 16 the end of sophomore year.
Okay.
So after the library, Corey drives around to clear his head and ends up on Fear Street. He sees the neighbor with the dog again. Then he goes home to sleep and is awakened by Anna in his room, which, I mean, all of my adolescent fantasies are coming true at this point. He doesn't deserve it, but then neither did I. She tells Corey that she's dead, but if Corey dies too, that he can take care of her. That it would concern me a little bit. That would be the line where I'd start to be like, okay, maybe not.
The only way to be together forever is if you unalive yourself.
Yeah, that one I think is where I would have paused. But the phone rings and Corey realizes it was a dream. But now it's Anna calling. And guess what? She needs his help. I mean, she's just feeding into the dependency.
She is. And also I want to talk a little bit about this dog on Fear Street. How many walks per day does he get?
I mean, people that are retired or don't have family and are totally focused on the dog, I know people like that who will walk their dog many times a day.
Okay. So in chapter 13, Corey decides to go to Anna's and get some answers, also known as kisses. He wants more kisses.
Oh, walking the dog at 1:30 a.m. I actually had a professor in college that would walk his dog in the middle of the night, so it's not completely.
Okay.
Single man lived alone.
So Corey sneaks out of the house and he parks in front of Simon Fear's burned out mansion. He waits for Anna and he waits some more. He continues to wait, but no Anna.
It's interesting there was a Simon Fear, and the fear isn't related to they try to explain away the Fear Street in universe explanation. It's not just because it's scary. It's because there was a guy named Fear.
Yeah, some random guy named Simon Fear who owned a mansion.
Sure.
And it's burned down now. So Corey is tired of waiting for Anna, and he decides that he's going to walk down the street because he thinks that Brad is holding Anna hostage. He gets to her house and he knocks on the door, and you guessed it, Brad answers.
It's not an unreasonable thing to think that he might be holding her hostage at this point.
At this point, yeah, because Anna's like, my brother's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the sneaking out and all this stuff.
So Corey tells Brad that Anna called him, and Brad grabs Corey by his jacket and tells him, Anna's dead, and I'm going to get rid of you once and for all. So now we have a 20-year-old man assaulting a 16-year-old boy.
Yep.
Okay.
Chapter 14. Corey is hoping it's another dream, but it isn't. Brad laughs because Corey's so scared. I hate people.
Yeah, now we're just getting into a maniacal mind.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I have no time for anybody that takes pleasure in other people's pain or fear. Anyway, Brad lets Corey leave, and when Corey gets outside, he thinks he sees Anna in the window. We skip to the next day, though, and we're at school during lunch, and Corey thinks he sees Anna again. He's tried calling her for 2 days, but no answer. At lunch, gymnastics teammate and friend Artie pretends he's choking, and Corey leaves in a huff. He realizes he has to get over Anna, but he wants answers first. So he goes to his locker and he sees Lisa, who asks him to the school dance. Good for you, Lisa.
Good for you.
Being direct. I appreciate it. And he says yes. Oh, no, he doesn't say. Oh, yeah, he does. Mm-hmm. The turnaround dance. Corey does say yes, but then immediately it's like, because it'll help me get over Anna. Which, smack him.
That is...
She deserves so much better.
Awful reason to go to a dance with someone or to go on a date with someone.
Yes.
Like, don't use her.
I think it even says at this point, Corey also thinks Lisa's acting like she has a crush on him. Mm-hmm. If he is any type of friend at all, you can't, you shouldn't use anybody, period. But, if they're friends, that's even worse. This is somebody you supposedly care about, and you're just using them. Right. Corey sees Anna in the hallway, and Anna walks up to them. And Lisa officially introduces herself to Anna and makes small talk. And again, Lisa's being mature. Yeah. She's being more mature than Corey deserves at this point. She is great. Lisa leaves to go to class, and Anna stays to flirt with Corey, and she whispers into Corey's ear, "You're all mine now," and she kisses him. Corey tries to get answers from Anna, but she scurries off. After class, Lisa and Corey are at their neighboring lockers. Neighboring houses, neighboring lockers. That's a pretty big coincidence.
They're all next door.
Right? Unless they assign lockers by geography.
Maybe.
That would be a bizarre way to do it.
Well, her last name is Bloom, and his is Brooks. So maybe it's alphabetical.
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be. After class, they're at their lockers, and Lisa asks Corey if he wants to come to study. Mm-hmm.
In quotes.
She opens her locker, and there's a bloody dead cat inside, whose stomach has been sliced open, and attached to the cat is a note, "Lisa, you're dead too." I don't want dead cats in my story.
No. No.
I love cats dearly, and that upset me.
Well, we're going to talk about how people feel about cats here in a moment. So in chapter 15, it's now after school, and Corey sees Anna and tells her that he helped Lisa clean up her locker because of the dead cat. He's telling her this because he's gauging her reaction to see if she did it, and she seems pretty innocent to him. She seems very surprised about this dead cat in Lisa's locker. However, Lisa thinks Anna did it because Anna is jealous that she and Corey are going to the dance together. And Lisa might be onto something there.
Mm-hmm.
Lisa is unbothered by the dead cat because she hates cats.
Yeah, so the thing is, even an animal I don't like, I would be bothered by their dead body sliced open in my locker.
I hate horses and whales. Mm-hmm. If I could eliminate them from the earth in a humane way, I would.
So if somebody godfathered you and put a horse head in your bed, you'd be cool with it because you hate horses.
Well, that was my point. Even though I hate horses, I would still be very bothered that this horse suffered just to send a message to me.
Right?
Right. Anna asks Corey if he would rather go to the dance with her. And Corey's like, well, yeah, but he can't do that to Lisa. So that is
one redeeming quality finally about Corey.
Yeah.
And also, I think most boys at that point would say, nope, I'm going to go with Anna. Sorry, Lisa.
Yeah, a lot of them would.
Yeah.
So Corey tells Anna that Brad roughed him up the night before, and Anna gets upset and walks away. Corey goes after her, and she tells him not to get involved with her, but Corey tells her it's too late. Anna says Brad is dangerous, and Corey asks what's going on. So I feel like Corey's like, I'm going to need some answers of what's going on.
Sure.
Anna tells him that she lives with Brad and her mom is sick, so Brad takes care of the household. She tells Corey to ignore Brad, and Brad shouldn't see them together. So Corey reminds Anna that she called him on Saturday, and Anna tells him, no, I called you on Friday. Someone is playing a trick on you. That wasn't me on Saturday. As they're talking, Anna sees someone in the hedges watching them, and she leaves. So Corey goes to investigate the hedges, and he sees someone in a gray parka running away, and he thinks that it's Brad. So it's November. I guess having a gray parka makes sense, especially in Ohio. It's very cold.
Sure.
Corey's at home, and Corey tells his mom that he and Lisa are going to the dance together, and his mom is super happy. I feel like she's been waiting for this little relationship to start budding.
Both their mothers. Yeah, for sure.
Later in the evening, Corey is doing his homework, and the phone rings. This phone is getting him deeper and deeper into trouble.
Mm-hmm. Man, phones back in the day before we had our own little cell phones.
Could you imagine the text messages that he'd be getting right now?
I mean, in high school, I was always hanging on AOL Instant Messenger, so that would have been more relatable to me if Anna was instant messaging him, I think.
Sending little ghost emojis.
Or ICQ. Oh, yeah, this was pre-emoji, but nowadays she better be sending ghost emojis through the text. So the phone, you mentioned the phone's ringing. It's David being a concerned friend.
It's about time.
Right? Like, this is probably why I never relate to boys. Because, anyway, you should care about your friends. He asks Corey what's going on and why is he missing games and practices. David calls Corey out for being hung up on Anna, and they get into a bro argument.
It's a bro argument.
What other kind of argument is there? Usually ends with being hit, right? Mm-hmm. Isn't that how it works? After the call, Corey sees Lisa's light is on, and he heads over. They have friendly banter, and Corey finally realizes how cute Lisa is, which is inexcusable. Mm-hmm. Corey tells her that Anna was waiting for him after school, but stops because he sees an article about Fear Street in the paper. A car slid and hit a tree. When he goes back to the conversation, Lisa's phone rings. Someone tells her, "You're dead too, just like the cat in your locker."
Rub it in. Right? Like, we're already upset about the cat. You don't have to keep mentioning
At this point, I want to know the cat's name, though, and the cat's story. Where did they get the cat? Was this just a stray they found wandering around Fear Street?
Yeah.
Or was this somebody's pet they stole? Or somebody? No.
Yeah, I assume it'd have to be a cat that lived around the school.
At least it's not Lisa's cat. Like, that could have been a way they played the story out.
Yeah. I mean, they do live within walking distance of the school, so it's possible. But yeah, so
she hates cats, so it's not her cat.
Right. And I picture some, old lady walking outside with a can of wet cat food. I know, a muffin! Here, cutie kitty, muffin!
Aww.
So it's chapter 17, and we're at the turnaround dance. Mm-hmm. Lisa tells Corey she thinks it was Anna who called her and killed the cat. There's a Phil Collins song that they mentioned. They talk about, the heavy drum beats. And I didn't look it up to see if the song had been released yet, but I think they're talking about Air in the Night. That's the song I think that they're talking about. Corey gaslights Lisa, saying that it wasn't Anna, and a Prince song starts playing, but they don't go into detail about, the rhythm of the Prince song.
Right, so it's impossible to know which one it was.
Right. So Lisa asks Corey if Anna asked him to the dance, and Corey tells her yes. To himself, Corey acknowledges that it's a terrible first date with Lisa, and they continue to argue about Anna. Lisa makes a scene, and she runs out of the gymnasium. Corey kind of takes a breather before he goes after her. He starts to think about the night and how it's going, but then he hears Lisa scream.
So Lisa was pushed down the stairs, assumedly by Brad, and Lisa has a twisted ankle. She did not die, thank goodness.
Thank goodness.
Right?
Stairs are dangerous on Fear Street.
Apparently, but then, she's totally fine, and she's searching the school. I mean, I know her ankle's hurting, but I think at that point the school nurse wouldn't be on duty, but you're going to go take her somewhere where she can get some medical attention?
There has to be some, parent chaperones.
Right.
Right? Where are they?
Yeah, that's who you'd tell to go search the school. You don't limp around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Corey and Lisa, they search the school. They search classrooms and possibly run into a rat. Then they hear noises in the classroom and see two classmates hooking up. Which, that sounds...
That's standard.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Although I think at my school they would have locked all those doors so that you couldn't sneak off and go in.
Uh-huh.
Well, we had the big gates that they could put across the hallway, the big metal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So you wouldn't be able to get to the classrooms. They keep searching, and a guy in a gray parka approaches them in the hallway, and it's Brad.
It's Brad indeed. So in chapter 19, Brad looks frightened too, like he wasn't expecting to get caught. Mm-hmm. And he keeps repeating, mistake, mistake. And Corey takes that as a threat. But Brad runs out of the room and traps Corey and Lisa inside the music room. Lisa wants to call the cops when they get back, but Corey is worried what Brad will do to Anna in retaliation. So he doesn't really care too much about what Lisa thinks. He's concerned about Anna and what will happen to her.
Yeah, but if Lisa's in danger now, if she's getting pushed downstairs and having dead cats in her locker, I think you got to put her needs first. I mean, I know you're worried about Anna, and that's legit, so tell the cops that so they can go over and do something about that.
So Corey calls for help, hoping the canoodling classmates will hear him, but they're in a soundproof music room.
Of course, because music rooms are soundproof at high schools.
All of them. Oh, yeah.
That definitely was not true.
That is not true at all. No. My music room was in the basement, and it was not soundproof at all. So Corey opens the blinds to the windows, and he sees Brad running through the parking lot, and Brad gets into his car and speeds off. Corey gets the idea to rock climb out of the second-story window and shimmy his way down a 3-inch cement ledge along the brick wall, and Lisa is against it. But he's like, no, I got this. I'm in gymnastics.
Yes.
Famous last words.
I also feel like he's a guy, so it doesn't matter if he's in gymnastics or not. He'd still try it.
Yeah, that's very true. So he makes it to the ledge and he sees a tree, but the tree is further away than he realized because he was going to jump into the tree and shimmy down some more. He slips and falls. We don't know what he's falling into because cliffhanger. It probably is his death.
I mean, that's where the story ends. He broke his neck, and that's the end. This is where cell phones would really hurt this story, because when you're trapped in the classroom, you just call for help.
Right.
I'm sure if there's cell phones in the updated version, because we talked about some of these have been updated, that they'd probably say, oh, I dropped it in the stairwell, or the phone battery's dead, or something.
There's no signal.
Right.
Yeah.
That's dumb. Chapter 20, he lands in a first-story open window somehow. Using his gymnastics reflexes, he reached up as he started to drop and grabbed the ledge as he would a parallel bar, and he missed, but his body still slid, or his feet hit a ledge on the first floor, and instinctively he dived forward to fall through the open window.
No matter how you describe that, first of all, it's impossible.
Yes.
And I'm not going to be able to envision how this happened because it's so impossible.
Well, even if the ledges aren't that big, the ledge means you've come out from the building a little bit. So what's going to propel you back into the building as you fall that very short distance from the second floor to the first?
It's 20 feet. He would have been all right.
Yeah. It's at most 20 feet. And falling on his hands and knees onto the hard floor inside would hurt more than falling into the bushes or whatever landscaping's around the school.
He should have twisted his ankle so he and Lisa could have one more thing in common.
There we go. So he gets Lisa out of the music room eventually, and the hall monitor desk was blocking the door, so they've been locked in by that. And then so they go to Lisa's house, and then Lisa starts to kiss Corey because she just watched him jump out of a window like a moron, and somehow she still thought that was attractive. I don't understand. The phone rings, and it's heavy breathing. Lisa freaks out and wants to call the police. Corey agrees, but we have to talk to Anna first. Can't do anything without talking to Anna.
Yeah, because Anna has been so open and honest so far.
And also, you're a friend. You need to pay attention to her at this point. Stop.
So it's Sunday morning after the dance, and Corey is driving to Anna's house to get some answers.
Of course.
He's mad about the whole situation, but he's still attracted to Anna. He knocks on her door, no answer. He turns to leave, and the neighbor is leaning against Corey's car, and the dog is there too. The neighbor tells Corey that Anna isn't home. So when Corey goes home, he tries to call Anna all day, but there's no answer. So at school on Monday, Corey waits by Anna's locker, but she doesn't show up. He doesn't see her until after school, and he drives them to the pizza oven, which I assume was supposed to be Pizza Hut.
I assume, but they didn't shell out the money that the Gap did.
Yeah.
Or Coke, apparently, because Coke was mentioned a couple chapters ago.
For all the Fear Street books that I've read, Coke is always mentioned. It's never Pepsi, so they might have had it.
Though, it's Coke and not Coca-Cola, so I'm not sure they paid for it. Also, Coke was just so...
Okay.
Maybe that was R.L. Stine's way of declaring his allegiance in the Cola Wars, was just throw Coke in.
Maybe since he's from East Coast, he was calling it pop, and his editors were like, it's soda, and he was like, over my dead body.
Maybe. I don't know.
And they compromised by calling it Coke.
Yeah, maybe.
So he drives them to the pizza oven, and Corey asks about Brad. Anna tells him Brad had a girlfriend named Emily, but she was killed in a plane crash last year, and he hasn't been the same since. Brad and Anna had a sister named Willa, and Brad became very protective of her and Anna. Apparently, Brad started calling Emily Willa and would tell people that Willa was dead. Then one day Willa did die. She fell down the basement steps, and Brad says it was an accident, but Anna has her doubts. Then Anna tells him that she and her mom want to commit Brad, but he's the man of the house and they need him for his income since the mom is sick and Anna's in high school. She tells him that after Willa died, Brad started telling people that Anna was dead, so they moved to Shadyside to start over. She said that Brad is still very protective of her and won't let her leave the house or go to school. Corey asks about the newspaper about Anna, and Anna tells Corey that the paper got the wrong name because of Brad. So that article he found about Anna Corwin dying, it was really supposed to be Willa Corwin.
Yeah.
Anna tells Corey that she's scared to be alone in the house with Brad, and her mom is visiting her sister, so it's just Anna and Brad in the house. Wouldn't you be a little sus about that?
This whole thing is so convoluted with the newspaper and stuff. It just,
Yeah.
it feels like there's a simpler, easier way to deal with that twist.
And like your mom agrees that Brad should be committed, but then she's like, gonna go visit my sis.
Right.
Good luck, y'all.
Right.
There's money on the counter for pizza.
Bad mom.
Bad mom indeed. So Corey and Anna start kissing, and Anna sees Brad in the window peering in and giving death glares. So Anna leaves, probably stiffs Corey with the bill.
Mm-hmm. So Corey's at home and tries to call Lisa. No answer. He calls Anna all day. No answer. Finally, Brad picks up and tells Corey that Anna is dead. Again, apparently. So Corey drives to Anna's house and knock. He hears Anna. She's not dead. Tell Brad that Corey is there for her, and Corey opens the door. Because you don't lock your door, even if you live on Fear Street.
Apparently.
He sees Brad restraining Anna as Anna struggles to get away. Corey comes to her defense and Brad puts Corey in a headlock. He starts to black out, but he hits Brad over the head with a marble vase. Brad goes unconscious, and Corey tells Anna to call the police. But first, Anna wants to go upstairs with Corey and make out celebrate. Like,
yeah, she's like, let's celebrate, aka make out.
Right. Like, red flag, red flag, red flag. I mean, I do think at this point I'd be tempted to go upstairs, but I like to think good sense would have won out.
Yeah. I mean, he just won a fight. I'm sure his little testosterone is just, coursing through his veins.
But let's call the police first, and then it's going to be a few minutes before they get here. We'll have time to make out.
Yeah.
Right?
He's only 16. He's not going to last that long.
Also, for making out, it shouldn't be. You should be able to make out for a long time. Let's go make out in the car. Let's not do it right here where the guy's unconscious and can wake up at any time. So Anna kisses Corey and leads him further into the house and upstairs. He resists at first, but then he follows. Anna gets a dagger-shaped letter opener and tells Corey she's going to kill Brad. Corey stops her, and she tries to stab Corey, but he dodges her swing and falls out an open window where he snaps his neck and dies. End of book.
This boy and his windows.
Right? And this time he did not gymnastics his way into the first floor.
Well, he gymnastics his way to keep himself from falling out of the window.
Right.
He's falling out the window, and he uses his legs to catch the windowsill. And
yes, he already fell out, but his legs bent and caught them around, and had the skills. He had skills. He just had to use them, or die.
So he gets back into the bedroom, and he restrains Anna, and he walks her downstairs. But as he's walking her downstairs, Brad comes to and walks toward them.
Brad tells Corey that he's trying to keep him safe from Anna, but Corey just kept showing up. It's your fault, man. I tried to save you. Such weak sauce.
At no point, Brad was like, hey, maybe I should tell you the story of what's happening.
Right?
But instead, I'm just going to threaten you the whole time.
Right. That's not how you protect somebody. but we don't know what their dad was like. Maybe that's the way he was taught to be a man.
That's true.
We don't know.
Toxic masculinity strikes again.
Brad tells Corey that Anna is indeed dead, and Anna's actually Willa. Willa was always jealous of Anna. Brad thinks Willa pushed Anna down the steps, but he could never prove it, so he's just kept his eye on her and threatened anybody that came near her, apparently. So they moved to Shadyside for a fresh start. Shadyside that he doesn't know what that word means, but he knows they moved to Shadyside. Okay.
Yeah.
And things were good until Corey started asking for Anna. Brad figured Willa was impersonating Anna, and Brad apologizes for not getting Willa professional help, but they couldn't afford it. Brad said he didn't mean to push Lisa down the steps of the dance. He thought Lisa was Willa. So he meant to push Willa down the steps? That makes it better.
I think he just meant to grab Willa.
Right.
But,
And the step was an accident.
Mm-hmm.
But of course it was steps. Mm-hmm. And he told Corey it was a mistake when they were together in the music room. Corey passes Willa off to Brad, and they call the police.
So I do like that this story is talking about mental health and the affordability or the lack of affordability.
That's a good point.
And this is in 1989.
And it's only gotten worse since then.
It's only gotten worse.
Excellent point.
So we are in chapter 25,
mm-hmm.
the last chapter of the book.
It's like 1 page long.
We are back at Lisa's house. Corey has told her what happened. And Lisa is like, see, I was right. It was Anna who called me and killed the cat. And Corey's like, no. It was Willa. So correcting her was his way of flirting.
Right.
Good job, Corey.
Because that's what men do.
Mm-hmm. So Lisa jokes that Corey is bad at picking girlfriends and she should be in charge of picking his next one. Corey agrees and they kiss.
Mm-hmm.
The end.
Yeah.
Happily ever after or happily for now?
So, I don't want to spoil our next episode, but we'll find out. I think it's a bad match. I mean, yes, she gets what she wants, and I'm glad for that Lisa gets what she wants, because I feel like she deserves but she deserves better than what Corey can offer her. And I'm left at the end of this thinking that maybe he'll change his ways and be better, learn a lesson.
Mm-hmm.
We'll put in a pin in whether he does or not. But it does feel too easy, but it's also the ending that you're going to want reading the book.
Right.
Especially the audience.
Yeah.
Right? So it disappoints me because I kind of feel like the better ending and the more realistic ending would be, okay, so I'll be with you now. No, you know what? Maybe before, like Lisa turning him down.
Would have been nice.
Would have been nice.
Yeah.
I feel like if you published it now, that's what you would need to do.
Yeah. In 1989, you were 6 years old.
Mm.
I know you didn't read this book.
No.
When you were
I don't think I read it until this past month. So
okay. As we'll say 10-year-old because that's how old I was.
Okay.
As a 10-year-old, what would you have rated this?
I probably would have really liked it.
Okay.
I don't know if I could point an exact, but I liked almost every book I read, and I remember enjoying the Fear Street books.
Okay.
At that point, I wouldn't have had any other horror or this type of story to compare it to. Right. Goosebumps was my first toe dip, and Fear Street did seem a little scary and a little more mature. So I probably would have really enjoyed the scary factor. At that point, I was probably already thinking about girls, and I would have related to some of that.
Okay.
I wouldn't have had any experience, of course, but yeah, even at 16, I didn't have any experience. But okay. Yeah, I think I would have enjoyed it quite a bit.
10-year-old me would have given this a B+.
Okay.
I would have been hook, line, and sinker with the whole ghost element to it. Being 10 years old and not yet in high school, I wouldn't have known like the improbability of, I don't know, leaving a gymnastics meet in the middle and your coach not reaming you a new one.
Kicking you off the team or whatever.
Sneaking out and stealing my parents' car to drive to Fear Street. So all of that I wouldn't have known. What do you give it as an adult?
So on Goodreads, where I rate all my books,
okay,
I did give it a 4 out of 5 stars, not because I think it was high quality literature, but I was trying to put myself in the frame of mind of who was the target audience at the time it was written and how well it served that target audience. Okay. And I thought it was a pretty good kickoff for the series for what it was at the time. If I was rating it just for my personal enjoyment of whether I'd want to read it again, probably more like a 2 out of 5. But yeah, I'd say, for what it was, I give it a lot of credit for that. And because I've now read 3 of these, the one that we're going to do next time and the one you already did with Kristen, I do think this was at least in the top 2 of the 3.
Okay. All right. As an adult now, I give it a D+.
Okay.
And that is a very generous D+.
Because of all the creeping?
Because of all the creeping, and just the impracticality of it. I get it. It's a young adult horror book, and I say that very loosely. I think Fear Street is more thriller with romantic elements.
Barely romantic. Like tame romance.
Very tame. I think it does get less tame as the series goes on, but I guess we'll have to see.
I think the prom one you did last time is a little bit less tame. Not much less tame, but a little bit less tame.
And for this series, I'm going to keep a track of how many deaths happen, but only at Shady Side. For the students that are getting killed off who go to Shady Side. And so far in book 1, no one in Shady Side has died.
Zero.
However, we do have a dead cat. Well, thank you very much for being my first guest for the first book, and you are going to join me for the second book and the third book?
Sure.
All right. So we'll hear more from you on The Surprise Party and The Overnight.